Hey guys, we're back. I know it's been a while since I made a video, but the right-wing civil war is blowing up at America Fest, and I gotta talk about it. And the main thing that's happening is just my problem with Ben Shapiro in general, which is unfortunate because he's a guy I used to like. His thing was like a facts first, like good conservative. Just thought he was he's like right on a lot of things. And I wanted to work for Daily Wire, but now I'm just starting to see inconsistencies in kind of his philosophy and stuff. And so what's happening is he's starting to become the thing he hates, and or at least claims to hate. So where that comes in is after the assassination of Charlie Kirk, Ben would put out a true statement saying "Hey, when you repeatedly call somebody Hitler-loving, Nazi, fascist, white supremacist, racist, when you constantly go on the attack against somebody, you're basically giving someone an incentive to kill them." And right, that's happened to That's happened to Donald Trump almost. And but then he turns around and does the same thing to Nick Fuentes, and it's like, but you just said it gives someone an attempt to kill them. Are you calling for the death of Nick Fuentes? If he points out rightly that insulting someone over and over and over again with these attack lines is a way to assassinate them or get them assassinated, then why are you going and doing the same thing? I just don't see it. And then he'll go and he'll go in his speech at America Fest. He said anyone who's not openly denouncing Nick Fuentes is a coward, is like a pathetic coward. And it's just like, who said you were in charge? First of all, who said you're the one who's the leader of the Conservative Party? And two, why do you get to talk what other people think? And this problem with political commentary as a whole is that with just about anybody, it's the message is I'm right and you have to think I'm right too. And this with anybody. You'll see it with Shapiro, Matt Walsh, Nick Fuentes too, Candace Owens, anybody on the left, like any of the mainstream left. The point of political commentary I've found is people saying I'm right and you think I'm right too. And Tucker Carlson's really one of the only people who goes on and says, yeah, I'm wrong. I'm actually wrong a lot. He admits his mistakes. I thought I've gone to like him a bit more too. He was like a mid-error and realized, hey, I'm not always right all the time. I do make mistakes. Other people are like, no, I'm right. You have to believe I'm right. I'm not taking my position on this. And this is something I can't really get behind. It's like, it doesn't make sense to me. And so, when we're talking about Nick Fuentes, obviously everyone was meant to be very extreme. People have gone on the attack to denounce him, deplatform him. He basically can't make any money right now. His only outlet to speak is on Rumble. Kicked off YouTube, kicked off Spotify, and when I listen to his show, his takes aren't very extreme. Sure, maybe he doesn't say it in the best way. Maybe it's a bit brash and to the point with it, but it's not very extreme. The main thing that he's going to talk about that I kind of agree with is our policy that has led to mass migration is kind of destroying American culture from the inside, where we import all these third world Somalis and Muslims, and they take over our cities, and little by little, it's just a small community at first, but then it grows bigger and bigger and bigger, and all of a sudden we're talking about Muslim calls for prayer at 5 a.m. in a whole city, talking about Somali police officers and a governor talking about Somalia. We're talking about Minnesota's congressional representative Ilhan Omar saying, we love our president of Somalia. And what was supposed to be a Christian country and Christian values, America, is now being taken over, and the way things are going, Christianity will be a minority religion in a few years. I forget the number was 2030 or 2050, but it's not looking good. We gotta turn things around really fast to get back to our values, right? But because it's and Fuentes is also very critical of Israel and of the Jewish community, and they're saying hey, they say things they want peace and they want and we're a great ally of America and stuff, but they don't do a lot for us. I mean, it's hard for me to say because I'm not like a situation. My position on Israel before is I don't care. War sucks. There's bad people on both sides. Picking a side doesn't help me do anything, right? Obviously you got terrorists on one side, and even then in any war, there's bad people on both sides. I mean, America, you can even say we dropped the A-bomb, World War II. It's unfortunate that's how things happen, but it's kind of true. the thing I come back to is like, who polices free speech? In reality, in America, it should be nobody, unless your speech actively leads to threats. Like again, all the Tucker Carlson called this out in his speech too. The shut up racist thing, like where you just constantly attack someone with these insults. When that directly leads to threats, you got Tim Pool's studio being almost blown up. You got Michael Knowles being thrown bombs at his speech. You got Donald Trump almost assassinated. Benny Johnson having to move for violence. Charlie Kirk killed. Fuentes had a guy come to his house with a gun. And it's just like, when you're doing this, you're just saying, well, you have free speech until you say this. I don't like it, and I have to like denounce you, and everyone else has to as well. This is what Ben Shapiro is doing. He's like, oh my gosh, Fuentes said this thing I hate. Well, you know what? He's this blah 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 blah. And if you don't criticize him too, you're a coward. You're pathetic. You have no place in the conservative movement. And it's like, the heck? What happened to like, hey, let's agree on things and come together after Charlie Kirk's assassination, right? Because the fact is, the Conservative Party, we're a bunch of people that agree on like 90% of things when it comes to like pro-life, when it comes to the economy, when it comes to immigration. But we beef so much about that 10% that it like takes over everything, and it drives just a bigger divide. And the main issue is Israel, of course, now, right? People saying, oh, Ben Shapiro's Israel first. People saying, we got Shapiro saying, oh, Fuentes is anti-American, POS, all this. There's really no good side to this here, but what happened to coming together on the 90% we do agree on? We've lost that in the shuffle of disagreeing and picking personal battles, and maybe I'm coming upon to the defender here. I wouldn't go to level of support yet, but again, Charlie Kirk, all he wanted to do was hear other people's perspectives out. He probably didn't like what a lot of leftists were saying on his campus tours. But at the end of the day, he let them speak, and he showed compassion and just honesty to them, right? And what Ben Shapiro is doing here is saying, no, I hate this speech, so I want to denounce you, I want to deplatform you, I'm going to call you anything just so you can shut up. And I hate to say, it's kind of the same game leftists play. When this cancel culture thing for the past 5 years, of being like, oh my gosh, they said that? Kick them off, like, ruin their life, make them miserable. I see the same thing happening here, and it's just like, why does Ben Shapiro get to decide who's in the Conservative Party or not? Why does he get to decide who gets to say this or not? Why does he decide that speech he hates, why does he set the standard for what speech is allowed and not allowed? We're in America, it's free speech country. Fuentes even said on Tucker Carlson's podcast that Daily Wire's teamed up with left-wing Media Matters to deplatform him successfully. He's still kicked off of YouTube. He's still kicked off of Spotify. Again, his only platform is Rumble right now. And like, for making like, you could twist something anybody says, say, oh, that's racist, that's sexist, but it's the same game that leftists played to cancel conservatives like Shapiro and like Matt Walsh, and they still do. So I just don't see the consistency there. And so I guess that's my main problem with Ben Shapiro. It's just like he's playing the same game. He's saying, well, you said this, I don't like that, racist, you're anti-Semitic, you're anti-American, you're a POS, and you know what, like, you can go shut up. And anyone who doesn't say the same thing as me, well, you're a coward, you're pathetic, you're weak. Just like, well, dang, who gave you that authority? No one has the authority to say, like, no, I like free speech until this. I like free speech until if someone says like that, oh, that's just too extreme. No, it's free speech. If you don't like it, you can leave. And Nick Fuentes is a bit too brash at that point where he's like, you know what? If you don't like America, and this is what people say on immigration too, like, hey, if you don't like American values, just leave. But
Are you in here?
I'm filming a video. Hey, man. But yeah, that's my main point of today. Hopefully y'all like it, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.